Jeffrey's like most guys. He's lazy and unattractive. But Adonis is disciplined and ambitious. When these two go head to head, who do you think will win? Who do you think will get the respect of other men and the attraction from women? Who do you look up to? When Jeffrey is faced with an obstacle, he crumbles. He's like the weak boys who succumb to comfort, and he mocks any man who works hard. Adonis is the opposite. He understands that the obstacle is the way, that discomfort is the key of growing as a man. And he wants other men to be like this. I think the best word to describe me when I was younger was lazy. And I didn't mean to be. Like, I always had these goals, okay, you know, I want to stop playing football and I want to be productive. I would just never get round to it. I now understand why, and the only one person who understood that problem was my father, who used to tell me these life lessons, and I would never take them because my mind would always wander. But he would say to not get consumed by video games. He'd forcefully pull me away from that. He'd forcefully tell me, okay, be productive, go study, go join any kind of sport. He was like, any sports club, Hamza, any sports club. He'd buy me like the ball and everything. And I would never do it, because I was just simply lazy. I've come a long way now, but that seriously changed my trajectory for the worse. And I feel that most young men are exactly like how I was earlier. Lazy guys aren't attractive. There might be some 6'7" f***ing Chad who can be lazy, fine. Okay, yes, he can be lazy if he wants, but we're not like him. We need every f***ing advantage that we can get. If you aren't supremely blessed with the best genetics and you're not like a f***ing model or some shit, or you're not like ultra rich, you can't be lazy, because you need to put in that effort to become more attractive. There's been studies and questionnaires done which women have answered, and they've said that 80 to 90% of men are below average. That 80 to 90% of men are unattractive. Why? Mathematically, that doesn't make any sense. Average should be 50%, right? The truth is that if we get 100 men, exactly how the population is, and we dial that into 100 men, what do you think the bottom 50% of guys look like? I would bet that the majority of women have almost never even interacted with these 50%. That these are those invisible guys that they don't know. These are those guys who are jacking off the f***ing like weeboo porn or some shit. These are the guys who are down bad. And so these 50, half of men are completely invisible. Women don't even know that they exist. So women's pool of this 100 guys is now 50 guys. And out of these 50 guys, they'd say like, yeah, like 40 of them I wouldn't date. The life that you want, the success that you want comes entirely from getting into this top 10% of men in all areas. And that includes things like mental health, because the majority of people have trash mental health. What if you're one of those very, very few people who's happy, who's fulfilled, who's grateful and present when he speaks to someone, who doesn't hold back in his love? Well, you'll be in the top 10%. The overwhelming majority of guys still don't really take any intention to improve their appearances. They barely even work out. They barely go to the gym. You know, the average body for young guys who are like in their teens or their 20s is either skinny fat, skinny, or just fat. The average body for guys who are older is literally just fat. I want you to picture those statues of like the Greek gods, the cultures that celebrated masculinity. That is how a man should be built. The amount of muscle you have in your body shows the world how much effort and intention that you have put in. Your physique is a clear indicator that everyone can see with how lazy or disciplined you are. So what message is your current physique pushing off to other people? When I say that for the overwhelming majority of guys, building your aesthetic body, building that 10 out of 10 body, whatever your 10 out of 10 body is, but the truth is all of our 10 out of 10 bodies, all of our dream bodies usually means more muscle, less fat. We want different sizes, we want different shapes. Some guys want to be like very, very lean. Some guys want to get way bigger. That's fine. But either way, more muscle, less fat. But you, just like most men, won't even be able to take action to improve your body if you're still lazy, if you're still hooked on modern technology. The overwhelming majority of guys actually want to do something with their lives. They're actually kind of ambitious. Like if you speak to a normal guy, like usually they actually do have some goals. They just never get around to doing them because they spend all day just f***ing around on their computers and their phone and their PS4. Like, oh lad,
you're coming online for a game of FIFA.
Shut the f*** up. So do you think those guys are going to be productive? Are you one of those guys? Do you know the average duration of someone's focus is less than 3 minutes? And our attention spans are literally seconds now. I want you to think of how the average guy works, and you might be able to relate to it. He needs to work, okay? He pushes off the task as many times as possible up until the deadline is coming. He's got some assignment or some work thing that he has to do. Eventually, okay, he's gonna do it, okay? It's late. He's pushed it off too late, he's up his sleep pattern or anything, but he's ready to do the work. And it's just coming slow. Like he doesn't enter a flow state. He's struggling. His mind is just f***ing elsewhere. He checks his phone, or the group chats pop in, or the lad has sent him a meme or some bullshit. And he doesn't realize how poor his focus is. The overwhelming majority of people do solely shallow work. They never enter a deep flow state, and that is such a disgrace. Your work is your contribution to the world. To not maximize your capability in what you can produce, that is so shameful, and I feel like that's a big reason why men feel so unpurposeful and unfulfilled, because they're not producing anything that they're actually proud of, because they distract themselves all the time. You need to become one of the very few people who can enter a deep workflow. The book Deep Work by Cal Newport is an absolute must. I made a Skillshare class on that. Scroll down to the Deep Work link in the description right now. Because once you start doing some of the right things, you'll realize that there isn't really that much of a competition. In fact, that's what a very successful group called the Wall Street Playboys have said in one of their books. There is no competition to get into the 1%. After that, it is ruthlessly cutthroat. So get into the 1%. All you've got to do is don't be fat, don't be lazy, produce some good work, do it for a couple of years straight. Don't do any destructive habits. Just don't do anything stupid and you're already in the top 20%. Fucking hell, bro. That's so true. Just don't do anything stupid and you're already in the top 20% of men. Scroll down right now and share this video to a Jeffrey friend who needs it. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah!